You heard something about a coworker this morning. You didn't ask for it. Someone just leaned in and told you anyway. And for the next 10 minutes, you couldn't stop thinking about it. You probably feel a little guilty about that. Most people do. Gossip has a bad reputation. It's the thing you're not supposed to do. But here's the strange part. You are built to do it. Your brain rewards you for it. And the reason has almost nothing to do with pettiness. It has to do with survival. Every human society ever studied gossips. Hunter-gatherer bands in the Kalahari, farming villages in medieval Europe, office break rooms today. The setting changes, the habit doesn't. Why would a behavior that feels so small, so almost shameful, show up in every human culture without exception? The answer starts with a number. Specifically, the number of people your brain can actually keep track of. In the 1990s, the anthropologist Robin Dunbar noticed something odd while studying primates. The size of a primate's social group tracked closely with the size of its neocortex. Bigger brain, bigger group. When Dunbar ran the numbers for humans, he landed on a famous figure, about 150. That's roughly the number of stable relationships one human brain can hold at once. Here's the problem. A group of 150 is too big to watch directly. You can't personally verify who's trustworthy, who's cheating, who's dangerous. There isn't enough time. There isn't enough attention in one skull. So evolution needed a workaround, a way to monitor a group far larger than any one person could watch. That workaround was talk. Before language, primates bonded through physical grooming, picking through each other's fur one-on-one, intimate but slow. Gossip, Dunbar argued, is grooming that scaled. Language let humans groom several people at once, trading information instead of picking lice. Suddenly, one person could maintain awareness of dozens of relationships just by talking and listening. Think about what that means. When you and a friend talk about a mutual acquaintance, you're not just being nosy. You're updating a map. Who can be trusted? Who broke a promise? Who's worth avoiding? That map used to be the difference between a safe alliance and a fatal betrayal. Because in a small ancestral band, betrayal could kill you. If someone hoarded meat during a famine or lied about a threat, the group needed to know, fast. Gossip was the fastest tool available. Word could travel through an entire band before the guilty party even realized they'd been caught. The social psychologist Nicholas Emler studied what people actually talk about in everyday conversation, and his findings were strikingly consistent. Roughly 2/3 of conversation time went to social topics, not weather, not politics, people, who did what to whom. For humans, that wasn't idle chatter. That was the real conversation. Not all gossip protects, though. Some of it is a weapon. Reputation can be built with words and destroyed with them just as easily, which is exactly why you evolved to care so deeply about what others say about you. Reputation wasn't vanity, it was survival currency. That jolt of anxiety when you hear your name came up in a conversation you weren't part of? That's an ancient alarm system, telling you your standing in the group might be shifting without your knowledge. But gossip isn't only about tearing people down. The psychologist Matthew Feinberg at Stanford found something that flips the negative stereotype. In experiments, when people observed someone behaving selfishly and were then allowed to warn others, both the warner and the group showed reduced stress and increased cooperation. Spreading the warning calmed people down. Gossip, in this light, works like an informal justice system. It punishes cheaters without anyone throwing a punch. Feinberg's later work found people would exclude a known cheater from future group activities even at a personal cost. Bands that punished bad behavior this way held together better than bands that let it slide. Gossip was the delivery system, and it cost nothing but breath. So think about the person at your office who always seems to know everything. They're not just bored. They're running one of the oldest social systems humans have. The modern descendant of the band member who kept track of who could be trusted around the fire. There's an irony sitting in the middle of all this. Language is often credited as humanity's greatest invention, the thing that gave us science, law, and philosophy. But some researchers argue its earliest, most persistent use wasn't philosophy at all. It was keeping tabs on each other. The lofty stuff came later. The gossip came first and never really left. You can see this everywhere today, usually disguised. Group chats, comment sections, reality television, true crime podcasts. Strip away the modern packaging, and what's left is the same ancient behavior. Tracking who did what, updating the map. Your ancestors needed that map to survive a band of 150 people. You still carry the same wiring, even though your band now might include strangers on the internet you'll never meet. That mismatch matters. Your brain didn't evolve for a world of rumors reaching millions of strangers in seconds. It evolved for a small group where gossip traveled at walking speed. So when information about someone spreads today, your instincts treat it with the same weight they'd give news about a person in your actual tribe, even a celebrity you've never met. The system that once kept small bands honest is now running on a scale it was never built for. Does that mean gossip is bad? Not exactly. It means it's powerful. The same instinct that lets a community warn each other about a con artist can also fuel a pile-on based on nothing but a rumor. The tool hasn't changed, only the size of the fire it can start. So the next time you catch yourself leaning in to hear the latest thing about someone, know what's happening underneath. You're not being small or wasting time. You're running software written over hundreds of thousands of years in a world where knowing who to trust could save your life. The stakes rarely feel that dramatic today. But somewhere in the back of your mind, a very old part of your brain still believes they are. You heard something about a coworker this morning. And now you know exactly why you couldn't stop thinking about it. Your ancestors couldn't stop either. It's the reason they made it this far.